My name is Devin I'm the founder of Functional Definition. It's a multi-brand platform for women over 40 trying to get back in shape after kids, show them how to weight lift specifically. So I avoid high intensity training like Orange Theory. I even avoid Pilates. I think Pilates is okay to integrate, but not as a form of reaching your goals. I've tried everything. I have been an athlete my whole life. I've had three kids back to back. They're all 18 months apart. So if you know anything about pregnancies, usually you want to have about 2 years in between each kid to get all your vitamins back, get your metabolism back, make sure that you're back to homeostasis, basically. Not me. I wanted to get them all out of the way. I was going to go for number four, but I have a software company too, so that was a big part of there was not enough time and not enough me. So I was just stretched too thin, and that part I fell back into fitness because I was done. As soon as I made that mind shift and I was done with children, I was ready to just dive into fitness and shed the weight. So always been an athlete, meaning I've always used my body in a way to train. I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm almost 160 pounds. I have a lot of area to have muscle and I can throw really far. I play basketball. I still play basketball. So it gives me I have a lot of stamina. Except when you're carrying around an extra 60 pounds from pregnancies or injury or something like that, it's really hard on your joints. Your muscle mind connection isn't there. You feel like you're wearing a weighted vest and then you're running through sand. So I knew I needed to get that pounds off, just personally, not for aesthetic, not for anything else. It was just, I knew it was going to be really hard on my heart. I like to tell this to my friends. You don't see a lot of tall people at retirement homes. There's just, we have a lot of gravity, and that's a lot to be working around. If you don't have enough muscle, you're just slowly dying. I mean, you're one injury away from breaking a hip or um, getting a neuro disease, I think. Something like MS is correlated to that, not being able to do simple things. But when I started the fitness journey, I actually started about 9 months with my third kid, and I I went into nursing school. So I was in nursing school and COVID hit right around clinicals. And I had a little weight room in my backyard, like outside, like most people did during COVID because the gyms were shut down. So I started weight training, and I started with a program called Beachbody. So they had just started integrating weights and everything. And I would get up every day at 4:30 and just do that by myself. Fast. And so I would also log my macros. That was a huge one. So I started logging my macros and then getting up with my routine at 4:30 in the morning, every morning. And another really big factor that women my age group don't want to give up is alcohol, because the psychology behind it, and I have a lot of clients, a lot of female clients. I have like doctors, lawyers, high up there, executives. They trust me, they understand, they see my physique. We're not far off. I'm 40, and you can't go on vacation all the time when you have kids. So having a little wine at night or something is it's like a mini vacation. And if you tell somebody who's been working 10-hour days, if that's to take away their like mini vacation, almost impossible to wrap that around their head. So usually I have negotiations with that. Give me 6 months, give me a year. Um, let's figure out our macros first, and then you can go ahead and reintroduce alcohol if you want at the end. And if you can't do that, then we have to start looking at other problems with that. Not that I'm a sobriety coach or anything like that, but that's just in my program, it doesn't work because when they have their 1 or 2 glasses of wine, they start snacking or they don't log anything, and it becomes really difficult on my end to reel that in. Um, so I start around year 2. I've been doing this for 4.5, almost 5 years. And around year 2, I had just women in the neighborhood ask me to start training them for like, $10 a half an hour. And I felt like I was really good at it. It was very motivating. First, it was group fitness, and they would all be silly, and I'd get them through the movements. The most bang for your buck in that half an hour to 45 minutes. Then I got really into it, and I had more women coming and wanting to sign up. So I built the studio that I'm in. It's a 10 by 20 shed. It's a prefab that we finished out. It's got air conditioning and music and TV, and it's really cool. So I started taking clients here one-on-one, and it got really big. I was up to 9 to 10 clients a day, and that was a little overwhelming for me. So I started in this past September doing online clients and scaling that, and that's been pretty incredible.
Are you a personal trainer, online fitness coach, or gym owner on the verge of burnout? Are you wanting to grow your fitness business but can't add more hours to your hectic schedule? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today. What was that situation and experience like for you when you started to feel like, okay, I need to do something, but I'm kind of there?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I started in a group. I think every town might have this, or every major city. It's called stroller strides, or some type of version where you take your baby with you, like 4 months-ish, and you are in the stroller and you do activities in the park. And it's organized, and there's like 10, 12 women. You can get into mommy groups like that. So you just don't feel so isolated throughout the day. Um, those were hard. Those were really hard. I mean, your joints feel achy. You've been stretched, your body's kind of different, your skin's different. If you're breastfeeding, you're extremely hungry for no good reason, and you don't really lose weight. So you feel very discouraged. It doesn't feel good. At least I didn't. I'm sure it feels good for some women that maybe didn't gain as much weight. I don't know. I think there was a weight thing for me, and not having enough muscle. And I was strictly cardio too. And they did like little weights, and arm things and some push-ups on the side of but it wasn't until I really, really dove into muscle building, all of it, like Mind Pump Media, to listening to some really great people talk about why it clicked in my head, why I needed it was, to me, it was like a compound interest savings account versus just burning cash all day. That's what I think cardio is. Basically, you're just, using all that energy, rather than, if you build up muscle, yeah, it doesn't burn as much calories during the time, but just being on you is so beneficial, especially for aging women and going into menopause. Not close to it, but I know that you have to start, when basically you don't learn how to swim when you're in the middle of the ocean. So you want to start everything a little bit sooner. Like we're talking 2 years plus, before the thing's coming, whatever it is. Planning a family, whatever you want. You want to really dial in some things. So I think that becoming a mom, the first time I was a mom, I was 31, and it was a shock to the system. I think being taller was helpful because I had more room, but you get things like carpal tunnel. Your the bottom of your foot loses its arch because the joints relax, the tendons relax, the more pressure. So you have an imbalance on your feet, um, creates hip problems. Also, when you give birth, your hips are widened. They don't go back. So then you're walking kind of uneven from before when you were more stealth and you were running like a gazelle, your run's different. I think it's I don't know, your gallop or something, it feels different. Everything kind of feels off, which isn't bad. Pretty, I lift way more now than I did in my 20s. I just have to be a little bit more conscious of movements in my 40s because of my lower back. That came around 38, I think 39, that came to play. I have two herniated discs. Could have been from the epidural. I don't know. That's not, it's the chicken or the egg. Could it be from lifting or could it be from the epidural? The epidurals. Um, but also with that, I think that comparing yourself to a younger version of yourself isn't fair. That doesn't give your older self very much uh, grace or humility. Like you should be happy that your younger self brought you to the condition you're at now. Some women are really not happy where they're at. Um, and you can change your life at any point for any reason at any time. At any time. I don't you've seen my Instagram before, and you can even put these up on the podcast. My before and afters will be really helpful for people. And I have women that have amazing before and afters. We're talking like 100 pounds, 60, 100 pounds. Like, let me post these. And they say no, because I never want anybody to see that before picture. Like, well, that's not fair because that woman brought you here and she birthed the babies and she built the family and she did exist. We saw you like that. Like, it's okay to embrace her. And then even though now you feel so good, because that's the difference too. When you get to a certain body type that you like, you just feel really good. Things happen in life that you can't control, surgeries, other people getting sick, parents getting sick, kids getting sick. And you have to take a step away from your fitness sometimes. I'm like a hamster on a wheel. Like, I need to do it. If I'm alive, if I'm breathing, I'm going to be doing it just because I need to. It just takes that edge off. So I can go bebop. My husband says, you're just always bebopping. Like, I'm always out there, talking to people and interacting with my community and having a really great energy for people. So yeah, it's like you need to have more than one thing than just weightlifting, because I'm within an inch of an injury every day. Today I did overhead presses at 55 pounds, and that's a lot for not even for a girl, for anybody. And in my head, I had to have the right song on. It had to be the right tempo when I kicked him up, because of one switch, and that's torn. Um, so also, if that happens, you have to be able to have another avenue for exercise. So yoga, breath work, even running, walking, hiking, playing pickleball. Like, you have to have like 4 or 5 different things that you can go, because like runners, when they have an injury, usually their knees or something give out a little bit. They need to take a break, rest, move on to something else, like cycling, weight training, something like that. So it's a really great idea to have these different avenues so you're not devastated or depressed when one of them's taken away unexpected, or just because you need a rest. I think that's really, I try to instill that in my clients, because if you depend too much on something, it it will go away and you have to pivot and move to the next. I'm dealing with a client right now that if he's not 100%, he doesn't want to start. I'm like, it just doesn't go like that. You have 24 hours, your cells need 24 hours to repair, your cells need to eat 24 hours a day. It's a cellular level that it's not all or nothing. It doesn't look like that. You just start somewhere and it will get increasingly more and more, like even like 3 days, or just like walking and circulating that blood through your body. But it's boring and it does, you're not going to get shredded and you're not going to get that pump. But doing that I started running this summer in July and I signed up for our marathon here, which is called in Scottsdale, it's called the PF Chang's Marathon. I signed up for the half marathon. So I trained pretty well. I think it was up to 10 miles or so. I hadn't gone the full 13, but I was feeling pretty good. And I think even I might have gotten a good time. I was at an 8.5. Not bad for a first time runner, distance runner.
Are you a personal trainer who wants to scale and grow your business online? Have you been coaching online for years, yet don't know how to incorporate online into your current business model? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today. The Weight Room Podcast is thrilled to announce our new sponsor, Prime Science. They're leaders in harnessing scientific research to revolutionize your fitness journey. With a firm foundation in the latest health sciences, Prime Science offers innovative products to help you achieve and surpass your fitness and health goals. These tools are more than just accessories. They're the result of rigorous scientific research aimed at optimizing your health. Dive deeper into how you can transform your approach to fitness at primescience.co.uk. Trust me, with Prime Science, you're in scientifically sound hands.
I got sick 2 weeks before the race. I was sick for maybe 5-6 days, pretty bad. With me, it's in bed and no kid, like I can't even do my kids, take them to school or anything. And then it took about a week to recover. So I didn't do the race. But I ended up running a distance run by myself just to make sure I could do it. So that was good. I'm not motivated by a competition. I'm not motivated by a medal. I'm not motivated by that. I'm motivated for the consistent work I do day in and day out. That's why I post my coffee picture at 4:30 in the morning regardless, because I know that's who I am. That's what I'm capable of because I've had that talk with myself. That's how I'm heavily in the business world. And they're not together, right? Like the business people really aren't into fitness and fitness people, we've got better things to do than business. But for me, I married the two because I'm not the best. I'm not the best trainer and I'm not even the best business person, but I'm so confident that I know I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do for myself. So that getting up at 4:30, that hitting my workout, hitting my protein goal. Right now I'm on a protein goal of like 190, 200, which is a lot, but it's what I've fallen into makes most sense for me. And I want to hit that. And that's really important. So when I think about things like that, I think about, did I show up the best today? How did I do? Did I do everything I said I would today? Did I just need a rest day? And did I kill that rest day? Because that can be hard too. Like taking the breaks off. If I'm at 120 and I'm coming down to 70 for a second, that's really hard for me. I'm not crazy, but like my head is always constantly going, the tabs are up, and I need to dial that back. Usually on Sunday afternoons are a huge day for me to take some time. So I don't usually do anything past noon. I don't go out with people. I don't take calls. I don't answer emails. I work on my clients. I do work on my clients for the week, get their stuff dialed in and set intentions for the week for myself. So I do the most things I need to do, like maintenance, like car oil change, meal prep. I meal prep twice a week. I like it. I don't have to think about it. My body runs like a machine like that. I'm very in tune with my body, so I can know if, something's off, I can dial that back in. But yeah, I like to think about it like if you were to speak on stage or if you are a comedian and you like got to practice your set and things like that, you don't talk to anybody before that for like 2 or 3 hours. Like you need to save all your energy, all your jokes, all of that for that hour, hour and a half on stage. So you do the 3 hours before, don't talk to anybody, you're reading your material, and then you go on stage, you kill it, you bomb it, whatever, and then you go back and you kind of think about what you did or how you could have done better, you relish in it, whatever. So working out, you're tearing these muscles all the time, you're building them up, you're tearing them up. And then you're also working with family life, building your company, whatever. All of that is like your stage, and you need to be able to write, you need to take the time and be in silence.
Mhm.
So whatever that is, if that's swimming, if that's hiking slowly, like not like a vigorous hike, but something like that. Fishing's a big one. Meditation's a huge one. Yoga, something like that, that you're not pushing yourself so hard. It's almost mindless, and really balancing yourself. I think because a lot of people, especially a lot of moms, will ask how I do it, um, because I take those times once or twice a week. It's really important. Not all the time, but it is once or twice a week. That recovery is huge.
You think as a mom and maybe as a dad as well, but with your particular experience, obviously, as being a mother, I mean, does it feel like you have to specifically try and take those times to focus on yourself?
It's a double-edged sword because when you're away from your kids, you miss them, and you can find yourself even shopping for them when you're not supposed to be, you're picking out stuff for them. I did that today, and I was supposed to be finding a dress for a wedding, and I'm doing them. Um, but that's natural. That's maternal. We're never gonna stop doing that. I think another thing too is if women might think that it's selfish to think about themselves. That's a big one, the guilt that I'm taking. And we've been going out to dinner and the kids have been at school all day and I'm going out to dinner with a friend. Now that's another 3 hours away from them. So it's it's so challenging, but you need those to be a better mom. I think when my kids see that I have a social life, um, and they see that I'm taking care of themselves, they're internally more proud than me just helicoptering them or fixing them all the time or getting stuff for them. They're only little once, but they're going to be adults for a really long time. So I want them to be good adults for a really long time. I don't want them to just be cute, blubbering, bouncing kids. I want them to be active, independent, strong women. I have 3 girls, so I want them to be able um, to to lean on me for support, but also know that they can do it. Like my internal clock, the 4:30 in the morning, that really rain or shine, like that helps me in so many areas because I just think about it. Well, you get up at 4:30, they don't. You're going into this meeting, they don't. You get up at 4:30, they don't. It just helps with kids. Um, it's similar when they do their homework or they do their routine, they do their brushing their teeth, they read their books at night. That's really, really big for them. That's the same thing. That's that 4:30 mentality in their head. Like I've done this. I know I can present in front of my class. I can go up to that new kid and talk to them. Um, Builds those confidence and things like that.
What you do is going to be so much more powerful than what you just tell them to do.
Oh, 100%. My clients don't, um, they're not women that like to be told what to do and they don't listen. And they got there when they're positioned because of that, because they put on their blinders and they, like I don't mess around. Like I don't mess around. I'm genuinely who I am from here to there. If you don't like me, if somebody talks about me or my training or whatever, they all have the same story. It's the same story, at least, like that's the same story. She is who she says she is. She does the walk. She doesn't, not like I don't. Like it's just, it is what it is. Here's what I do. You do this and you will get here. That's it. There's no secret. I am not reinventing anything. It's just walk beside me, not in front of me, not behind me, walk beside me, and we're going to go and get to your goals.
In general, like how do you help people, I guess, guide them to get the answer that they want and not the answer that maybe they think that they should be getting?
I do a lot of questioning, what's worked in the past, what hasn't worked in the past, fact finding, what they're going through. So the ones that like stick to the plan and really lose significant amounts of weight, because it takes a year. It really does. There's nothing else unless you're doing even like a crash diet. Let's say you lose it in 3 months, it's going to come back. Your cells don't work like that. And it takes 2 years for the whole fat cell to leave you. So, I mean, it's still there. It's just ready to be filled back up with, excess energy.
The Weight Room Podcast is proud to be partnered with Prime Science, our new sponsor and a trailblazer in health technology. Prime Science is dedicated to pushing the boundaries of what's possible in health and fitness through extensive research and scientific validation. Their products are a testament to their commitment to safe, scientifically backed health optimization. To learn more about how Prime Science is redefining fitness with valid science, visit primescience.co.uk. Join us in embracing a future where fitness meets rigorous scientific practice with Prime Science. This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout.
I'm not a magician. Like, I can't tell them this is going to work. I'm not there putting food in their mouth or batting it out of their, because it really is nutrition at the end of the day. If you want to lose fat, that's how you do it. You don't really do it through working out. It's not the best way. I figure out how they got there. I figure out what's their motive for getting in shape in the first place. Is it to impress somebody? Is it for an event? Is it because they're dating? Or if it's an external thing, like a person, place, or thing, it's not going to work. It has to come from within. It has to be sort of I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to feel like I have a 20-pound vest and I'm slugging through sand every day. Like, I get up and I'm tired. I go to bed and I'm tired. Not eating anything until 2 o'clock, and then I'm just having coffee all day. So I usually have them. I like to see what a typical week is, what it looks like. We go through it. And it doesn't really even mean anything because usually they don't tell me the truth, or they don't write it down. So it's just a way for them to kind of lie to my face. It's not honest truth. They lie to my face, and then I kind of, we peel back the layers of why that's not what's not happening. But like, back to my kids, did you do that? No, let me go check the cameras. Oh, well, I did, and we go from there. I think the best motivation for me is consistency with them. So I am more a mindset and accountability person. I can show you the moves, and I mean, there's 9 moves that you go through with weightlifting, for real. And cardio, cardio on your own time, getting your steps every day, moving your body. And then I just keep them accountable throughout the day and throughout the week.
How do you know when to say kind of enough is enough in regards to I'm no longer holding you accountable. I'm just like kind of doing this in a sense. I'm doing this more for you than you're doing this for you.
Yeah. Oh, I deal with it every 3 months. Because why would they come to me if they could do it on their own? I mean, why would you hire anybody if you could do it on your own? If you're a good golfer, why are you taking lessons? You second guessing yourself every time you go out there? It's a solo game. This is a solo project. We don't need people to tell us we're good enough. We don't need to get on stage to know that we're a badass. Like, you don't have to do that. I've done that. You don't have to do that. It messes with yourself and your self-esteem. It has to come from internal, and I just like to be the ignition starter. So I like to think of it as like, I'm starting up the engine. You have to push the gas, and you also have to put the oil in it and change it and do all that stuff in the maintenance. And I'll check. I'll ask you, are you changing the oil? Are we doing this? Like, is it still in gear? And if they're falling off, they're having life events, and I say like life be lifing, then I dial it back. And if I only touch them once a week, then that's fine. But if we go for like 3 weeks and they're kind of standing still, I'll check back in. I'm with somebody, gosh, once a week, we talk every 3 days, and then they ask me questions throughout the week, and I monitor their what they're eating and I adjust their macros. But if they're not in it, I just happily excuse myself. I say, hey, let's do this another time. No problem. I'm not mad. This is, we're adults. Like, save your money, and then we'll just revisit this, a few months. And I get pushback. Oh, no, no, I'm in it. I'm in it. Like, you just want to tell people you have a trainer.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you're not doing the work. You just want to tell people you're in college, but you're not going to class, like,
It helps psychologically, I think, some people to have a trainer themselves too, knowing like it just makes them feel like they're doing something, even, once again.
somebody's watching them. Yeah, because if they didn't, oh my gosh, I could fall off so hard if somebody wasn't there, knowing, watching over my MyFitnessPal and whatnot. It doesn't affect me. I think that I'm so disattached to that feeling of like you didn't hit your macros. Oh my gosh, like that doesn't matter. That's not even a great strong point. That's just no, that's just telling yourself, keeping receipts for yourself. Because once you're at your goal, you height and weight and you look great, it's pretty easily maintainable for years if you don't go crazy. If you're not using food as an abusive substance. Um, I find working with so many women, and I work with men too. I do. I enjoy working with men. I relate with women a lot better, hormonally, kids, all that. But money, alcohol, specifically alcohol, and food, usually you'll have, out of the three, you'll have two problems with that. So you'll be in debt, or you'll be using alcohol silently, not like in a gregarious way, but the food, the alcohol, and credit card debt, or just overspending because you're trying to get that dopamine and you can't get it. So what I like to do is go down to base level, take out all the fun foods, take out the alcohol, stop spending. That way you can start regulating yourself and have natural dopamine come back in, like walks, sunsets, sunrises, family events that, assuming you like your family, and you can raise it a little. It should never be spiking like that, because then you're just chasing that high and you're getting yourself into crisis mode. I know there's a huge difference on when after I was going through the pregnancies, doing that stroller stride thing, there's a difference between then and now. Like before, like, "Ugh, I have to go." So I know that feeling that, I have to do this because I don't want to gain more weight, or I need to stop the bleeding or something, versus now where I'm like, oh, I get to do this. Like I feel like I'm going to the club or something. Like it's that much for me. Now if I miss it, am I totally miserable? No, it's fine. I tons of other things, but I'm right back at it the next day. I don't go more than 3 days unless it's an injury or sickness. And then I just get back at it. If I'm breathing, I get back at it. And it naturally raises the dopamine rather than those artificial synthetic ways, the Amazon Prime, the wine at the end of the night, things like that. Because you feel like shit after you do that. After you buy something you don't need, after you have those glasses of wine that you didn't really plan on or want to, you just had nothing else to do when you were cooking or whatever. Um, but you had goals of saving your money, and you had goals of working out the next day, and you're not believing yourself anymore. So you're not believing yourself, you're not trusting yourself. So when you start making plans with people or you start interviewing at places, everything kind of sucks because you don't trust yourself. Am I going to make it to that plans with that person? I'm interviewing, but I'm nervous because I really don't believe in my capabilities. It all just ties in together. Like you can
Mhm.
see it slowly if you start really following through with things you promise yourself. That's how this is how I interact with my clients. Even like today, I don't have morning clients anymore, but I blog, I write, I like to to have my time before the kids. It's really important. Uh, I don't hate snooze. My body just wakes up. But if I like, I can't like literally. And I have a puppy right now, so that's also. But yeah, hitting the snooze, you snooze for an hour, maybe 15 minutes, maybe another 15 minutes. You just feel so crappy. You never feel good. That snooze in the whole history of snoozes has ever
Yeah, it's never
made
really
any, yeah, made anybody feel like nothing good happens after midnight.
yeah.
You know that it's not, you just one, two, three, get out of bed, and then you're good. And
Yeah.
promise yourself a nap later. That's what I do. I'm
Yeah.
like, just get up and you can sleep 6 hours from now or something. It's a lie, but I have a lot of women that I train um, in studio that I want to push out and release into the wild. They don't want to go to the weight section at our gyms. We have a gym a pretty big, it's like a Lifetime Fitness, or it's called Mountainside Fitness. It's like an LA Fitness, but they're all over the valley and you can go to anyone for free. So it's super cheap and that's childcare, and the machines are all Hoist, and I know the product really well and I have the Hoist products here. So I train them on the movements here specifically so they don't feel stupid and they can go and confidently go in there. And I'll tell them, I'm at this gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you can say hi to me. You have your trainer there. I'm not supposed to train them, but they can see me. Um, but now I have like a dozen people at each gym with my gear on at any moment. So the trainers are always kind of watching, like, is she counting?
Mhm.
I also have an app. It's a subscription app that I use. It's called Trainerize. Most people use that, but they have their workouts for the day, they set it up and they just go through them, 45 minutes, and they go for the next one. So, and I tell them, how to even work in with somebody like a seasoned gym person. They're not going to be mad that you asked, and you can be they're not going to be mad. They shouldn't be mad. They should be there. They should be at their tiny little hole in the wall bodybuilding gym, not at a commercial
Yeah.
gym where newbies are going to be the weight room area. I do have a shameless plug. I'm starting my own version of the app. Um, I'm in software, so that was only natural for me to move into my own version of a trainerize, but it's going to be more habit tracking, um, more psychological, how to how to get the motivation internally rather than externally, sort of like a virtual trainer. Like you have to have that feeling of this is working too, like it has to work. You have to see those little things. You have to see that. You have to see the pounds come off and they're like, oh, this works. Yes, it works. Calories in, calories out. Muscle underneath pops out, like this is what slow. It's like a frog in water. You don't boil the water and throw the frog in. You know that analogy. You
Mhm.
raise it up slowly and they're like, oh, I'm here. It all comes down to too, I have 4 dogs and I train my dogs really well. They have a 60 IQ. It's real simple. We do the small stuff, real simple, and then we do bigger stuff and we piggyback on that. And now I can, recall them and they can come to me with one, snap of a finger and they're right by my side. Um, so clients, they need to trust you. They need to see your personality. They need to see that you're walking the walk. They need to see, because you don't want to put in all this effort for nothing and the scale's the same, right? We're talking about women who usually want to lose weight. I don't know a ton of women that want to gain weight, but I do have women that seek muscle building, but they don't want to gain weight. So that's even harder to, they don't want to go past 110 pounds, but they want to see a physique of a 130-pound woman.
Yeah.
So it's hard. The
Go
math ain't mathin'.
right. Going back to like the mental and psychological side of understanding kind of some of the things and the reality of things. But yeah, there's a ton of great things I think that we touched on tonight. And we could certainly keep going on and on about it because it's an endless thing and it's an endless journey. And I really enjoyed talking with you and chatting with you. I appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It was great to kind of dig into a little bit of the psychological side tonight. And if you want to share any socials or anything like that before we head out, you can.
Sure. Yeah. Functional_definition is my handle. I post every day and I do some reels and just my life throughout the day on my stories. I like collaborating with anybody. So if you have anything, shoot me a DM.
If you're tired of searching for a coach or trainer, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has experience, make sure you go check out the new Coach's Corner on weightroompodcast.com. You can find quality, qualified coaches to help you achieve your goals, whether that's in bodybuilding or just general fitness. Stop wasting time and start achieving your goals today. The link to the Coach's Corner is down in the description below.